Hello you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna do a quick little March reading wrap up and April TBR. I know we're like already kind of in April, but I still wanted to share because I read so many good books and I want to talk a little bit more deeply about them. Let's get into what I read in March. So the first book I read in March is Never Lie by Freida McFadden. This is my first Freida McFadden book that I've read and I did really enjoy it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars because it wasn't like my favorite book I've ever read, but it was still really good. Like the plot twist was crazy and it was like a crazy plot. However, I just felt like the writing was a little cheesy at times. So that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5 instead of like a 4 or 5. That was my only thing I did not like about it. So that's why I gave it that. But I really do like her writing and her plots. So I do want to read more books by her, but I don't know. It just wasn't like my favorite book I read this month. So this is about a husband and a wife and they are looking for a new house. They went to look at a showing and they got snowed into this house and weird things start happening. She finds these files of the psychiatrist that used to live there that disappeared. Yeah, it's crazy. There's so many crazy things. Then I read If He Had Been With Me. This is a sad book. So sad. So this is about Autumn and Finn. They are childhood best friends. They kind of grow apart. It goes through their whole high school experience. There's love, there's drama, there's sadness. It is so sad. This book had me in tears and it was so good. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was almost a 5 out of 5. However, I feel like I wanted more of Vinny and Autumn together and I didn't feel like I got enough of that. And then the other book that I read actually goes with this book, which is If Only I Had Told Her, which is the second book in the series. And this book made this series a 5 out of 5 stars. It's so good. This book, especially like the first half, which is in Finn's point of view, literally I was bawling my eyes out. It was so good. And you only get like 150 pages of that, but oh my gosh, it was so good. This book made the series so much better and it was just so sad. Like the whole book literally put me in a little bit of a depressive state. I am in love with this book and this series. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but personally I liked it and I really love the characters so much and I'm so sad that this book is over in this series and I'll never read about them again, but I'm just in love. So if you're thinking about reading a sad book, I loved the book Fault in Our Stars and I feel like this gives me a similar vibe of Fault in Our Stars and that's why I loved it. And the last book I read in March was The 7-Year Slip, which was completely different than all of those books that I previously read. This was fun. This was lighthearted. It was cute. It was sweet. It was all those things. I'm obsessed with this book. It's about an apartment that you go into the apartment and it's 7 years in the past. So she meets this guy who's living in the apartment at the time and they kind of like hang out and then she leaves the apartment and then she can't see him ever again and she's like, where did he go? So then like you kind of find them in present time and there's all this drama and it's so good. It's lighthearted, it's sweet, it's such a cute plot and it's the time travel part of it just makes it so much better. It's just so cute. I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book and I think it just made me feel so good and it was a great way to end the month, I think, and I loved it. It was so good. I loved her writing style as well. It was an author I've never ever read about or read her stuff and I enjoyed it so much. So yeah, that is the last book I read in March and I read 4, which I'm proud of myself. I know that last month I think I only read 3, so I was really proud that I had an extra book. But yeah, those are all the books I read in March. I'm in love with all of them. It was a really good reading month in my opinion. Let's move on to April. Okay, so I've already read 1 book in April, but I'm not going to give you a wrap up on it. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. Heartbones by Colleen Hoover is a book I wanted to read this month and I'm like trying not to say like about it. It's literally about this girl who comes from no money. She moves in with her father who does have money. This is her first experience with anything like that. She's not very close with him because she grew up without him and with the mother, and she meets this guy on this beach in Texas and they kind of hit it off. He's mysterious. He's got a lot of secrets, and she's like, I want to know more about this dude. So that's a little bit about the book. I don't want to say if I liked it or not. I'll tell you guys later. But by my face, you probably can tell how I'm feeling about it. So yeah, this is the first book I wanted to read in April. Then I'm currently reading The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm almost done with it. Needless to say, I'm probably going to read the second book in the series this month. I want to go get it today because I'm almost done with this and I feel like I need more. So yeah, this is the second book. It's about some kids who have superpowers and they are solving cold cases. And it's not like superpowers like I can fly, I can shoot lasers out of my eyes. It's not like that. It's like very natural abilities. Like she can look at someone and tell you all about them. Like they grew up in this and they look like this because of that, or they drive that car and they wear this, like stuff like that. There's people who can tell what emotion you're feeling just by like the little things, like the way your eyebrow twitches or your just stuff like that. One's really good with numbers and statistics and is really smart. One can tell if you're lying or if you're not lying and can lie really good. So yeah, that's a little bit about it. They're called Solving Cold Cases. There's a huge plot twist, which is where I'm at right now, and it's so good. So there's 4 books in the series and I want to go get this one right here, maybe today. Another book I want to read this month is Practice Makes Perfect. I picked this up a couple months ago and I started it, but I stopped and started reading Never Lie because I wanted a little bit of a thriller in my life. I wasn't really in a romance mood, and I'm a mood reader. It's not because it wasn't a good book or that I wasn't excited to read it. I just wasn't in the mood for it. So I want to pick it back up because I've heard so many good things about it and I was enjoying it when I started it. I don't know, I could feel myself getting in a slump of romance and I was like, I need a change of pace. And lastly, I just picked this book up and I want to get started on it. It is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I've been saying I want to read Yours Truly, but Yours Truly is the second book in the series and that's why I haven't read it, because I was like, I want to do it right. So I picked this up so that I can, read this and then read the other one after. I've heard amazing things about her writing and also this series as well. And then the last book just came out like a couple weeks ago. So I want to dive into this series so that I can enjoy it just as much as everyone else. I don't know a lot about it. I know it's a romance, kind of cute, maybe small town. I don't know. I don't remember. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But yeah, that is the last book I want to read this month. Hopefully I do it because there's a part of me that may just continue with the Natural series and not even read these other 2 books. But yeah, I don't want to overwhelm myself. I also don't want to make you promises that I'm going to read all these because I may not. But yeah, I love you guys and let me know what book you're reading right now, if you're reading a book. And if I had to tell you to read one book from the entire collection that I read in March, I would tell you to read The 7-Year Slip because I just loved it so much. It was so freaking cute. So yeah, that's the book I would recommend reading from my March wrap up. But yeah, that is everything that I read. I love you. Have an amazing day and I will see you in my next video. Make sure you subscribe, do all the things. Follow me on TikTok. I post every single day. My TikToks are right here for you to search it up. I post so much wedding content and makeup content and book content on there. So if you are interested in any of those things, follow and let me know and comment that you follow me and I will like your comment or pin it or whatever. Yeah, have an amazing day. Bye.